Hello, church family. Good to see you all. And look who I've got with me, up here on the screen with me. Found this guy out wandering around. No, just kidding. Welcome, Pastor Ed, back to Dallas. It is good to see you. So we are glad, and I knew all of you, our church family, would be glad to see him and know that he and Connie are back in town. So I wanted to give this opportunity to welcome them back and say hello. So how's it going?
You said you saw me wandering around. Well, I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing, is wandering around. How do you go from almost 3.5 months gone and come back to Dallas without wandering to some degree?
Yeah, and welcome back in the middle of a pandemic too, and where we love to give you a hug, and our church family would love to hug you and Connie, but we're going to have
6 feet.
Yeah, 6 feet, exactly. Well, it sounds like it was quite an adventure. For those of you that don't know or need to be reminded, Pastor Ed and Connie got to enjoy the last 3 months going on a leave. This was an opportunity to get away, to rest a bit, to recharge, hopefully, and spend some good time together and with God. And so we were thrilled for them to have that opportunity. Now I'm even more thrilled to have them back and have Ed back on our staff team and serving Jesus by serving all of you. So, but that was what they've been up to. So what can you tell us about all these travels?
Well, adventure is a great word for it. And that's largely because of Connie. She likes to find those little hidden places that aren't on the popular tourist scene for us to encounter, to enjoy, to hear about their history. So we put, believe it or not, in fact, I'm going to have to double check the miles on this, because before we left our driveway on December 18th, so when we got back on April, whatever it was, I have it down for 6,000 miles.
Wow.
6,000 miles. Well,
yeah.
That's because, it wasn't that we were constantly running,
right?
Because we would stay sometimes in some spots like Quartzsite and Apache Junction for, a week to 10 days to just enjoy that setting. But yeah. I was surprised when you don't do a bulk of miles all in one day, it's not as taxing. But adventure is the word.
Yeah.
Adventure.
Any highlights or few highlights for you and Connie, sites you enjoyed seeing or God's creation or activities?
Oh my, yeah. As you could imagine, 6,000 miles, and we were focused all on that Southwest in the desert kind of scene. San Diego, of course. We got to enjoy your church family there at Paseo del Rey, and what a joy that was. But a lot of that history, and my wife, as you all know, or many of you know, is into rock, so the mining and the U.S. history of that area. Derek, what really struck me is just how every town, no matter how big or small, from Rhyolite, that is now a ghost town and only has one caretaker to maintain it. It went from 8,000 to 10,000 to one person now, but you go from towns like Rhyolite, Apache Junction, Globe, Jerome, Oatman. Each one just has such a unique story, and it's rich. So the adventure is not just physically what you see, what we saw with our eyes, like the Grand Canyon and the things you would expect, but to hear the story of that community. It was just rich. It was fun to listen to, and then to engage the locals there today and the pride they have with most of them, the pride they have with the history of their geographical area, how it contributed to the United States of America, especially here on the West. So Tortilla Flats. Have you ever been to Tortilla Flats?
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah, any of you out there been to Tortilla Flats? I got a T-shirt. Now that is out of the way. You got to work hard to go to Tortilla Flats, but go there and eat at their dining hall.
That is something we could invite our church family to do, I suppose, if you're seeing this video, and you can comment below if you've been any of those places that Pastor Ed just rattled off. And then the next time you get to be in conversation with he or Connie, I'm sure you can trade stories. So.
Oh yeah, we've already done that with some, Oatman. I sent the staff the pictures of the donkeys in the street when the mining community collapsed. They just released all these burros out into the wild, and they're prolific now. They are, and of course, they kind of play it up there by feeding the donkeys so that they make sure they stay within that town, giving it a tourist kind of attraction.
Interesting.
Traffic stops. Traffic stops for the burros.
Wow, that's pretty unique for sure.
Yeah.
Well, as you're telling us that just now, I was thinking of a couple of things I love about you, Ed. Is you're such an excellent question asker. So I bet at all those places along the way, you and Connie were probably asking some good questions to learn about the history and what makes all those places unique. And then I also am so thankful that you're such a reflective person, and you do a great job helping people around you reflect on life and on what we're learning. So I guess that makes me want to put that question back at you.
Sure.
Yeah, coming out of this 3 months, is there something that you feel like God's been working on you or impressed upon your heart, or that you'd like to kind of take something you've learned out of that season and into this next season?
Yeah, certainly for me, when I go through something of this nature, a vacation of some sort or a time away, it's generally not a intellectual, a cognitive knowledge of truth, which is important, but it's more a deeper understanding of something that I already know. And I think, there's several things. I was journaling, a while away, so there's several different points to come back to. But one that I may find interesting, and when Connie said this, I asked her, could I share what you said? As we were contemplating coming back, and by the way, church family, I asked Derek for 5 additional days, which he granted because of snow in the Nevada route that we were taking. But I asked Connie, she told me that she wasn't ready to come back. And I said, well, why not? She said, I don't want to share you. I thought, whoa. She said, I don't want to share you. And I think really, if I was reflecting on anything, it's just whether it's relationally, how much we are so divided amongst so many things. For Connie and I, divided amongst a plurality of people, a lot of people, but even relationships, what I realize we are sharing ourselves when we are so attached and engaged with my home, my work, my jobs, or whatever it was. And so, the spiritual, even relationship then with God, it showed me how much I'm sharing myself with a lot of things, which takes away from this relationship with God, So, it's hard to, it's hard to try to encapsulate that into words, but when you're in that spot, when life slows down, you start to see other layers to relationships. So that will be the challenge, and I've talked to other snowbirders, you snowbirders out there, when you're down there, you know what I'm talking about, but we get back up here and how quickly we get back into that frantic pace. So some of you snowbirders can give me some tips how to hold on to at least the positives.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. I mean, wouldn't that sounds to me like a great result from a time away of being closer with your wife and having chance to connect with God as well. So, well, thanks for giving.
One more thing, Derek.
Yeah.
One more thing. When you first moved up here, you talked about trying to find a place with street tacos.
Yes.
Because you experienced it down in that southern region.
Yes.
You know what I longed for that I experienced twice?
What's that?
A lot, but in regular grocery stores, good flour tortillas, homemade.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. When I looked throughout for a store where I could get some authentic homemade flour tortillas. So
Nice.
you sacrifice moving to the Northwest.
Yeah, just a little bit different, but so much great stuff. Well, thanks for giving us a quick update, and I know people will look forward to getting connected with you guys again soon. And so maybe on behalf of our whole church family, here's air hug for Ed.
Thank you. Oh, I feel it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the way we've got to do it in these days. So
yes, yeah.
All right. We'll see you soon, brother and church family.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your day, church family. Bye-bye.
Okay.